Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Touch Base Tuesday. I'm Michael Cooper with Parkway Church here in Madison, Mississippi. We're glad that you joined us today. Wanted to talk to you out of the book of Proverbs today in the 10th chapter. It was recently somebody reminded me that they had started reading the book of Proverbs through each month. And they also reminded me that I was the one that had influenced them because a number of years ago, my mother had found a book, and this book was telling about the advantage of reading Proverbs through every month. So for about 2 years straight, I did this, and oh, how much that it helped me. And so after that person spoke to me about that, I have begun again starting to read the book of Proverbs. Well, when I got to the 10th chapter, I just simply became arrested with some words that I noticed, and I'm going to talk to you today out of that 10th chapter about words and then the vehicle of those words, which is the mouth, the lips, and the tongue. The first one I came upon that I noticed was in the 11th verse of that 10th chapter. And it says, the mouth of life. A righteous man or woman speaks life-giving words most often to others and sometimes to oneself. I've often heard people come up to me and they will say, I needed to hear that. Or they will say, thank you for those kind words or those encouraging words. You just don't know what that meant. And that's all it was, but it was words like a well of life, like life-giving water that is to somebody that is thirsty. And then verse number 13, it says, wisdom is found on the lips of him who has understanding, but a rod is for the back of him who is devoid of understanding. And when a person has wisdom, it will be found on their lips. The words they speak reveal the wisdom they possess, as Jesus said, out of the abundance of the heart. And then verse number 14 says this, wise people store up knowledge, but the mouth of the foolish is near destruction. Wisdom takes knowledge and makes it accessible for the future. And I know that is so true. Sometimes that God downloads into my spirit wisdom. And for that appropriate time, that when somebody's needing a word, I'm able to give it to them because God put it in my spirit. And then there's verse number 18. Whoever hides hatred has lying lips, and whoever spreads slander is a fool. In our modern day, very few people will ever admit to the sin of hatred. And a lot of times what happens is that sin of hatred builds up, and there comes into their mind even to the point of premeditated murder, that they actually kill somebody because of such of hate or jealousy in their life. And then verse number 19 says this, in the multitude of words, sin is not lacking, but he who restrains his lips is wise. Many of us could bless others and keep ourselves from sin simply by speaking less and restraining our lips. In other words, sometimes it's best to keep our mouth shut. And then verse number 21 says, the lips of the righteous, listen to this, feed many, but fools die for lack of wisdom. And that's what I think about. Oh my goodness, how refreshing it is for when you're sitting and a preacher is preaching and revelation is coming out of him and you're receiving that word. And it's like, it's just feeding you with good things. It's equipping you with good things. It's just like sitting down to a good meal and being fed, and it nourishes you and strengthens you. The verse 31 of that 10th chapter, it said, the mouth of the righteous brings forth wisdom, but the perverse tongue will be cut out. A person's heart is often revealed by their words. And then in that last verse, verse number 32, the lips of the righteous know what is acceptable, but the mouth of the wicked what is perverse. God's righteous men and women have a sense of discernment in what they say, but the mouth of the wicked As righteous men and women are skilled in saying what is acceptable, so the wicked have a talent to speak what is crooked or perverse. So I end this with, be careful with your words. Pursue, desire God. Put words into my mind, into my heart, that I might be able to speak a word in season to somebody that is in desperately need. And that's what we've been doing for over a year now. I've been doing these episodes since last January. So again, I'm hoping the words that I speak and others that speak following me and before me, I pray that they are a comfort to you, a help to you, and an encouragement to you. God bless you, and we'll see you next week.